cases in Los Angeles County comes to 746,089. The confirmed number of deaths reaches 9,782. Here in Torrance, the total number of confirmed cases is 3,782, with total confirmed deaths at 85. We anticipate those numbers to change as the county updates its last 24-hour operating period. Welcome to COVID-19 Today. I'm Christine Lee. It's 4 p.m. on Wednesday, December 30th. LA County confirms 12,979 new cases of COVID-19, along with 227 new deaths. The high number of new deaths reflects a backlog from a Spectrum outage and the Christmas weekend. And once again, our county is seeing the highest number of hospitalizations reported in a single day, exceeding 7,000 for the first time, with 7,181 people hospitalized. That's 267 more people than yesterday. The latest number of daily hospitalizations is a nearly 1,000% increase from just 2 months ago. And California broke the single-day record for COVID-19 deaths again. 442 people died Tuesday, and more than half of those were LA residents. Today, the state reported 432 additional deaths. Public health officials say too many residents and businesses are behaving as if we are not living in the most dangerous time of the most devastating pandemic. A revised temporary order is now in place throughout LA County. Residents are being told to remain in their homes except as necessary to conduct activities that are specifically permitted in this order. Public health officials also remind Angelenos to limit close contact with others outside of their households, both indoors and outdoors. The revised temporary order will remain in effect for as long as the Southern California region is under the state public health officer's stay-at-home order. Governor Gavin Newsom outlined new plans to reopen schools for in-person learning in California. He proposed an additional $2 billion in funding to support reopening efforts so they can welcome back students as early as February of 2021. Newsom prioritized K to 6th grade students, those requiring special education, and populations that are disproportionately impacted by COVID-19. As a parent, the governor noted that there's no substitute for in-person learning for a young child like his 4-year-old. He also shared that in order for the school reopening plan to take place, counties must have less than 28 COVID-19 cases per 100,000 residents. Newsom's plan also includes increased testing, mandatory surgical masks for all staff, which the state will provide for free, and mandatory masks, though not necessarily surgical, for all students as well. Contact tracing will become a high priority as the state monitors schools when in-person instruction begins, and school staff will be vaccinated as a part of Phase 1B. Governor Newsom shared the latest COVID-19 numbers during his briefing as well, confirming 30,921 new cases today. He added that California now has more Moderna vaccines than Pfizer, over 1.1 million doses compared to a little over 1 million. So far, 300,696 shots have been given out, and the state expects to receive more than 327,000 doses of Pfizer's second dose next week. And finally, small businesses and nonprofits have another opportunity to apply for COVID relief funding. Newsom announced $500 million in aid that is now available and will be given out to qualified applicants in amounts of $5,000 to $25,000. U.S. now has a confirmed case of the mutated COVID-19 strain that was first detected in the United Kingdom. The coronavirus variant was found in a Colorado man in his 20s who did not travel. He is now in isolation southeast of Denver. This new strain is believed to be more contagious than the previously identified SARS-CoV-2. Colorado health officials also think the current COVID-19 vaccines will be effective for this variant. They're currently investigating other potential cases and performing contact tracing. Travelers from the UK to the US currently have to test negative for COVID-19 before boarding their flights. Today, Governor Newsom shared that the state performs 5,000 to 10,000 genomic tests every week. California has not yet detected this new strain. Stimulus checks are on their way if they haven't already made it into your bank accounts. The U.S. Secretary of the Treasury, Steven Mnuchin, tweeted the update on Tuesday, saying some may receive direct deposit payments as early as that night, and paper checks will be sent out starting today. Millions of Americans are expected to receive the second round of the economic impact payments. They're a part of the implementation of the Coronavirus Response and Relief Supplemental Appropriations Act of 2021. Eligible individuals will receive up to $600 and married couples up to $1,200. Generally, if you have an adjusted gross income for 2019 of up to $75,000 for individuals and up to $150,000 for married couples filing joint returns, you should be receiving the full amount. Those making more money will receive reduced amounts. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump's push to increase the checks to $2,000 was blocked in the Senate. You can check the status of your payment later this week at irs.gov/getmypayment. President-elect Joe Biden delivered his COVID-19 remarks on Tuesday, stating some key goals for his administration during its first 100 days. He says one of his goals is to administer 100 million shots of the COVID-19 vaccine. Another is to set up vaccination sites and send mobile units to hard-to-reach communities to accelerate the pace of vaccinations. Biden noted that the current pace was too slow, saying at this rate it'll take years, not months, to vaccinate the American people. He says in order to get 100 million Americans vaccinated by his 100th day in office, the pace of vaccinations has to pick up by up to 6 times what it is now. His plan is to give 1 million shots a day, and even so, acknowledges it will still take months to have the majority of Americans vaccinated. According to data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, just over 11.4 million doses have been distributed so far, and a little more than 2 million people have gotten their first of 2 doses. President-elect Biden also warned Americans to brace themselves because things will get worse before they get better. He predicts the next few weeks and months to be very tough for our nation, maybe the toughest during this entire pandemic. Biden also addressed people's concerns of the vaccine's safety, saying he's been working to help alleviate their fears. The president-elect pledged that one of his first acts when he takes office will be to release a comprehensive coronavirus aid bill to Congress that will include funding for more vaccinations and testing. Meanwhile, he reminded Americans about the importance of wearing masks, washing hands, and keeping their social distance during this critical time. LA County can keep its outdoor dining ban order in place until at least early February, regardless of state rules. The California 2nd District Court of Appeals 3-judge panel gave this order, which pauses a previous ruling by an LA County Superior Court judge, which would have required the county's public health officials to conduct a risk-benefit analysis of the temporary ban. A hearing on the matter will be held on February 10th. County health officials say they are grateful for the court's decision, adding that the most recent legal action allows the county to continue protecting residents from the spread of COVID-19. CongressmanElect Letlow has passed away from COVID-19. He won a runoff election earlier this month to represent Louisiana's northeastern 5th District, but complications from the coronavirus claimed his life too soon on Tuesday at the age of 41. Letlow announced on December 18th that he had tested positive for COVID-19, was hospitalized 1 day later, and went into intensive care days before he died. Letlow was reported to be in stable condition a couple of days before Christmas, receiving remdesivir and steroids as a part of his treatment, but his condition unfortunately worsened. Letlow's spokesperson says the family appreciates the numerous prayers and support during this time. He would have been sworn in as a U.S. representative on January 3rd. Letlow is survived by his wife, Julia Barnhill Letlow, and 2 young children. An ER nurse in San Diego tested positive for COVID-19 shortly after receiving his first vaccine shot. Matthew W. was seen in a Facebook message posted on December 18th talking about receiving the Pfizer vaccine that day. He said his arm was sore but didn't have any other side effects. 6 days later, on Christmas Eve, Matthew was working a shift in the COVID-19 unit and fell sick afterwards. He got chills and later experienced fatigue and muscle aches. He tested the day after Christmas and found out he was positive for COVID-19. An infectious disease specialist in San Diego says this isn't unexpected at all, adding that Matthew could have gotten infected before receiving the vaccine since the incubation period may be as long as 2 weeks. He also says results of the vaccine aren't immediate, and the first dose of the vaccine gives recipients about 50% protection from the coronavirus. Thankfully, Matthew has been recovering well. He says he's feeling better since his symptoms peaked on Christmas Day, but still feels fatigued. We wish him a speedy recovery. Drones are one step closer to reaching your doorstep with your deliveries. The Federal Aviation Administration issued new guidelines this week allowing them to operate at night and over people. This change in rules could expand the use of these devices for commercial deliveries. Amazon, Walmart, and UPS have all been testing how drones can be used for their businesses. Amazon received FAA approval to deliver packages by drone in August, but is still testing out its capabilities. Walmart is currently undergoing a pilot program in El Paso, Texas, where drones deliver COVID-19 test kits to homes within a 1.5 miles of the store. And UPS received approval last year to operate a nationwide fleet of drones and made hundreds of deliveries on a hospital campus in North Carolina. These drones will also require remote identification technology so that they can be more easily tracked and identifiable from the ground. U.S. Secretary of Transportation Elaine Chao says these final rules carefully address safety, security, and privacy concerns while advancing opportunities for innovation and utilization of drone technology. Drones represent the fastest growing segment in the entire transportation sector. FAA says there are more than 1.7 million drone registrations and 203,000 FAA certified remote pilots. Well, Las Vegas looks a lot different these days as many of its major hotels and casinos are closing midweek due to a lack of business during this ongoing pandemic. Visitors planning a trip in early 2021 are encouraged to check online to make sure that their favorite resorts will actually be open when they plan to visit. The Mirage currently has on its website a notice stating that it only accepts reservations for Thursdays through Sundays beginning January 4th. During the rest of the week, the entire resort will be closed, including its casino, all restaurants, spa, and even its signature volcano attraction until sometime in February. The hotel says low weekday business levels and the state's restrictions on group gatherings led to this decision. A spokesperson for the Mirage says they'll continue evaluating how long the closure will remain in effect. Many neighboring resorts on the Strip have also been modifying their hours. Encore at Wynn Las Vegas has been closed from noon on Monday through early Thursday afternoon since October 19th. The Palazzo recently expanded its hotel-only closure from midweek to every day for most of December. And the Link, Mandalay Bay, Park MGM, Planet Hollywood, and Rio are all closing their hotel rooms sometime during the week. The Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority says midweek occupancy for this area dropped from 87.1% in October 2019 to 38.6% in October of 2020. American Airlines flew passengers on its Boeing 737 MAX for the first time in 21 months. The 3-hour flight on Tuesday from Miami to New York was thankfully uneventful. Flight 718 departed Florida with just 83 passengers, including American Airlines President Robert Isom. This particular aircraft model was grounded after 2 fatal crashes claimed the lives of 346 passengers in March of 2019 in Ethiopia and Indonesia. Since then, Boeing spent more than a year working on the plane before the FAA allowed it to go out on test flights in late September. American is the first U.S. airline to resume service with the Boeing 737 MAX. United Airlines plans to start flying its aircraft on February 11th. Alaska Airlines has a tentative start date of March 1st, and Southwest Airlines has yet to announce a date to resume operations with this particular plane. All 4 U.S. airlines flying the Boeing 737 MAX promise to be flexible should passengers not want to fly on this aircraft. They will be allowed to make free changes to another flight if they'd like. Well, before we go, at the end of each program, we like to share stories from our community, feel-good pictures, images, and videos that remind us of how resilient our community is and how Torrance truly cares. A local business in South Torrance received a random act of kindness from some South Bay neighbors.
I also want to order some gift cards to give out to some beachside friends.
Okay.
I want $2,500 worth of gift cards.
Serious?
Yes. We're doing this thing called Operation Smiles, giving back to community restaurants, and just trying to bring some smiles to people.
Yes, thank you. I am smiling.
Yeah, all
Yes,
right, I know. You
thank
can't
you.
tell, but
Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's going to help a lot. It's going to help a lot.
Organizers of the Beach Life Festival recently visited the Beach Hut located on PCH and Anza to purchase $2,500 worth of gift cards. It's a part of their new campaign called Operation Smiles, where they're delivering just that, smiles to those who need them the most. They say this is the time of the year when they'd be planning which bands to book for their next music festival called Beach Life 2021. But with COVID-19, they shifted gears and tried to think of ways to do some good in the South Bay. Over a week, they raised $25,000, and they're visiting local restaurants and buying gift cards to help them out. If you have a need, they want to know about it. Whether you're an individual or a small business, you can apply for a chance to receive a smile. Just log on to beachlifefestival.com. What a generous way to help others during this time of the year. If you have a great story to share, email us at covid19today@torranceca.gov. We'd love to hear from you. Well, that's our update for COVID-19 today. Be sure to tune in tomorrow as Ben McCain brings you the latest. Be safe, stay healthy, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.